Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode. And as you saw in the title card range, it's like we're leaving the library today. Probably. Um, the original plans that were told to me off screen over the weekends have been officialized, and I know both people were wanting to do like the flyby grab stuff, but one of them is unfortunately having life issues still. So it's still I'm still keeping it within the range. Each of them is going to be so I know that there's going to be a skill challenge setup. So it is until we get to 3 failures across both skill challenges, and you have to get 4 successes to be able to get each item. So it's a total of 8 versus 3, but it's set in 4 and 4. Because one of them's a little bit farther away than the like by a little bit. It's a good bit farther away than the other. So I'm just looking over my maps real quick on it. Let's see if my map will actually load. Thinking about it, I might not. I'm not exactly sure if my map will load. Yeah, my map might not load. Not on here, anyways. So I'm going to set that aside temporarily.
I mean, if we just burn down all of the books, it'll be a lot easier to get out of here, right?
You know how that's gonna go for you.
For me, it'll be fine. I mean, Cassius will more or less fucked, but I'll be okay.
I mean, maybe. I have no idea if Raven is willing to let that one fully slide.
I was gonna say you could let me just do the skill challenge with advantage, pretending that justice is there.
While technically that is not wrong. Okay. So I think while I know that the advantage range is I will be lowering the uh difficulty, like the DC, a little bit. Because I know that justice is helping. But that is currently where I sit on that one. So are you going to go closest, then farthest, then back?
Yeah, just a quick loop while everyone recuperates and gets ready to leave.
All right. So, as this is for the viewers at home mostly, for skill challenges, you have to be proficient. And seeing as Dionysus is a bard, he fucking fuck. Fuck. Anyways, because he's a bard, he has debarred this shit somewhat. That is normally my range. Is you have to be proficient, and you can't use the same skill twice in a single challenge. I'm technically making it so you can do it twice across the two halves of this challenge,
Don't worry about
if that makes sense.
it. Yeah, like it's 1.5 skill challenges. Can't use it on the same object.
Right. So, for the first one, what is the first skill that you're going to be using?
First I'm gonna scope out if there's any enemies around it.
So are you using perception for that one?
Probably, yeah.
All right. Give me that perception roll.
We're starting off real good here with a 22.
Well, 22, that's a pass. So as you're getting close, I'm going to be doing X's and O's for it. Return, tab.
You're not playing.
So as you're starting to get close, you are noticing that there are a couple creatures in this area. It looks to be a UNT and a couple lizards.
Cool. Let me see. I don't think I burned them all. Shit, I did. Okay. Then so doing some shenanigans, I burn a spell slot to get a sorcery point and use it to cast magical darkness over the area. And because I used a sorcery point to cast it, I can see through it. And then
So
stealth
what I'm going to have for stealth. So here's what we're going to do for the next two skills. Your first one is I'm going to have you roll an Arcana check for the first skill. Seeing if you can cast this while flying into it. Like, you know what you're planning on doing, but can you make it work? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's a 16.
16. And it'd help if my keyboard is set up to the proper one. And now roll your stealth.
That's a nat 20 for a 29.
All right. So the DCs were not terribly high, but they were still reasonable. So as you're flying, you start noticing there are some UNT and a couple lizards around this body that they have recently killed. And you see them starting to loot through stuff. And you notice that among the things that are near, propped up against one of the bookshelves, is this staff. And the staff looks kind of shiny to you. So you focus for a moment as you start diving in close to the bookshelves. And you cast a magical darkness. And you're able to slowly drop down, grab this staff, and launch yourself back out right as you start hearing the UNT start screaming out of what and you make it out. You have a
I
staff in your
understand
hand.
what they're saying, by the way, because of that pendant.
The fuck? Why is there darkness here? The lights never shut off.
All right. First one in the books, I shove that staff. Actually, no, I'm not wearing the coat. I gotta carry the staff.
You've got to carry the staff.
I swapped out for my cloak for this.
Yes, you did.
Next one, we'll get it rocking with a perception check.
All right, give me that perception.
That is cocked. 26.
I haven't raised it knowing your fucking bonuses. Yeah, you notice that this dead body is sitting on top of a rug, and his shadow doesn't look right.
And is the magical aura coming from that?
The magical aura is coming from his hand.
This isn't necessarily skills, but I got a couple spells that'll help.
If you want to do a spell, you're gonna have to do a Arcana to see if you can make it go off. Arcana is essentially the versus concentration, because you were doing this at a like extremely fast pace. Like this is attempted at like quickened spell is kind of half implied because you're needing to do all of this in like one fell swoop. Like you're dashing
Okay.
all of it.
Proposal. Because I'm using an actual spell and a cantrip, I'm going to do Arcana and Performance to shatter the hand off of the skeleton and then swoop low enough to use Mage Hand to pick up the hand.
We'll do Arcana first to see if your spells go off in the way that you want them to. And I have this as a tier in my head.
That's probably a fail. 13.
That's just below tier 1. So yeah, as you're starting to cast your spells, you're noticing none of them are lining up. You are like you're trying to figure out how you're going to do a shatter spell, and you're starting to overthink it just a little bit much, and you realize that you're getting a lot closer than you wanted to before casting this shatter spell. And the closer you're getting, the more you're realizing, oh shit, I'm gonna possibly hit myself with this, and that will botch the whole mission. So you can leave the performance out, but you have your first failure.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, what am I gonna do? Something seems off about that rug, right?
Yeah, like he is positioned just a little too perfectly, like near the end of it. Normally you couldn't figure those kinds of things with the spell, with what it is, but you've got you've got an inkling.
Can I stealth to hover right above it and then attempt a sleight of hand?
I don't think stealth would be good for the hover. That sounds more like a acrobatics kind of thing.
try it. Oh, that's not bad. 19.
So you're able to float in, and you are somewhat hovering. Like you're at a slow movement. Being that you are a bat-ish kind of fly, it's like hovering's even harder for you than it would be for Justice. And Justice is used to having wings. So you're kind of like at a slow glide. So you can give me that sleight of hand to see if you can like pop that ring off real quick.
18.
Oh wait, there's supposed to be 4 passes per check, per run. You rolled like super high on the last one for the last for that previous skill.
Okay.
So you are able to start getting the ring off. You're noticing that like you can get a hand on the ring and it's starting to slip. But that initial like attempted spell failure range, you're noticing that the shadow is like shifting on the bookcases.
Survival to finish getting it and slip away before it can grab me.
How are you using survival for the finishing of the slip?
Understanding the nature of or the likely reaction so that I can anticipate it.
Okay. Now that I know what you're planning with
Yeah.
it,
Because I'm not going to do it without it noticing entirely, but I want to be able to dodge its initial reaction and get the fuck out of it the way.
all right, give me that roll.
That did not. Nope. That's an @1. So a 5 on my survival.
Luckily, nat ones are not total failures for skills.
Yep.
So, yeah, you start like trying to anticipate, and you do anticipate the shadow beautifully as the rug starts wrapping itself up, trying to grab your leg.
Yeah, I cast Shatter on myself. Centered on myself.
Give me a.
Holy move. Let's see if it pays off.
How do you want to? What skill do you want to use for being able to attempt to? I guess that would be your performance then, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, performance to see if you can actually like figure the proper spell range. Because see if you can perform underneath this pressure without damaging the ring or the staff.
Magical items.
And it's right on top of you.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
Yeah.
That was legitimately the last. This was the last roll to find out if you passed or failed total.
Yep.
So, with the ring in one hand, you finish slipping it off of the finger. You actually decide to like just snap the finger a little bit and then drop the rest of it on the ground. And then you take the staff and you realize it's got a little bit of a resonance to it. Like as you've been moving it about, you smack it onto the ground as hard as you can, kicking off the rug with your other foot, and you soar up into the air. Books flying everywhere as a torrent of pages are just swarmed around you. You have a slight feeling in the back of your head that Sorka heard all of the at least heard the shatter spell go off. If not physically heard, but like felt it in her soul.
Yeah. We're not going to speak of that, but I did take 10 points of emotional damage in anticipating what Sork is going to say. And I fly back to the others.
And you fly back to the others. You now have a ring and a staff. And now I'm going to hold of the fact that you have to cast the spell for each of them. I mean, why have magical spell components and stuff like that if you... Because it is a spell that does require that fucking pearl.
Mm-hmm. But I've bought lots of shit.
Yes. And I know you have a pearl.
Pearls are easy to get when you live on the coast.
It's still a pearl worth 100 gold.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a cheap thing to buy.
It's a big pearl. But yeah. I actually rolled like shit for my damage for shatter, so I legitimately took 10 damage.
At least you got out of there.
Yeah.
And you now know of more of the things that are in the dungeon, that are in this library.
I land amongst the others with the staff and the ring. I feel like I'm in a fantasy novel. I've got the magic cloak, the staff, and the ring. I feel like the protagonist. Also, we're not allowed to have rugs anymore. Do you want to get the fuck out of here before I identify these, or do you want me to see if it's useful for any of you first?
Okay, is that like a euphemism? Like we can't have rugs, or like that's like an
if you want to test the rug first, one just tried to strangle me.
What did you do to deserve it?
It had a dead body on it with this, and I hold up the ring. What's the ring look like?
Give me 1 second to see if I can pull up a description on it. No, not that item,
round?
not that book.
Circular, kind of. Fits over your finger.
Is it ribbed?
For your pleasure?
It was on the hand, so at least I didn't find it amongst the pelvis.
I was about to say, what kind of ring are we talking about here? Got a button on the side that'll make it start like going back and forth really quick. It's got some uses.
It's looks to be a polished wooden ring. With carvings of like animal heads, mostly like animal heads, like around it, like very like fairly simple carvings, but still very nice.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I want to get out of here, but I want to know what these look like. So I'm going to burn 2 first level spell slots, and take 2 minutes instead of 20 to identify both items.
So the staff is it's a golden staff that is fairly long. You can look up the image for it. I know you're going to. The ring is a ring of animal charming. Oh, sorry, animal influence.
Oh.
That'll be page
The ring has 3 charges and it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. While wearing the ring, you can use an action to expend one of its charges to cast one of the following spells: Animal Friendship, save DC 13; Fear, save DC 13, targeting only beasts that have an intelligence of 3 or lower, or Speak with Animals. That's
And
nifty.
Nice.
and the
Yeah.
other one is a Staff of Charming. I legitimately rolled these. I did not expect to get 2 charming things.
What
I rolled a
charming
different
staff.
thing that ended up becoming the staff, but that's just because the thing I rolled originally was extremely fucking boring. So I want you guys to have interesting and unique things, not just boring blah.
It was a staff walking.
Okay, 1 second. I like this
So
one.
we're getting the hell out of here.
Okay, so it has 10 charges. You can use an action to expend 1 charge to cast Charm Person, Command, or Comprehend Languages using your own spell save DC. It can also be used as a magic quarterstaff. If you're holding the staff and fail a saving throw against an enchantment spell that targets only you, you can turn your failed save into a successful one. You can't use this property of the staff again until the next dawn. If you succeed on a save against an enchantment spell that targets only you, with or without the staff's intervention, you can use your reaction to expend 1 charge from the staff and turn the spell back on its caster as if you had cast the spell. Staff regains 1d8 plus 2 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the staff becomes a non-magical quarterstaff. At least it doesn't explode.
And also requires attunement.
Yeah, so does the ring.
I don't
No,
remember.
it doesn't.
The ring does
No,
not require
it doesn't.
attunement. The ring could just be popped onto a hand. Hence why you kind of popped it off a hand.
So who wants to fuck with animals?
Yo. Cassius likes animals. He's just really bad at, they don't respond well to him, I guess is what he's saying.
Maybe our rangery type person.
Might be a good one for Justice. Shall we save it on the back burner for then?
Yeah.
For now? I believe the staff would be most useful to you, Sorka.
Let me see. Yeah, I have space to be able to attune to something else. So
Can Justice cast those spells?
Justice can cast, yes, but they mostly use their bow. They wouldn't be holding a staff very much. Unless you feel that a staff would fit you. But you,
I got my mitts
yeah,
and my shield.
it needs a spellcaster.
Yeah, I can cast punch.
Unless you want to throw away your sword there, Wells.
I mean, trust me, I wish I could throw away my sword, but physically can't right now. So the staff I wouldn't really be able to use the staff.
I can throw your sword.
All right.
At the mention of Cassius saying, "I can throw your sword," Wells, you hear in the back of your head, "If you let it touch us, I will hurt both of you beautifully."
Yeah, no, please don't. Trust me, I've tried before. It's not pleasant.
Okay, well I can throw stuff. I'm just saying, I can't do a lot. I ain't got no spells, and he'll just start like flexing.
I get down on a knee and present the staff up towards Sorka.
I will just look down at you and just raise an eyebrow that you can't see and be like, really?
You can
Look
feel
him
the
over.
eyebrow raise at least.
It's yours.
Thank you. I think.
Well, if you don't want it, I can just throw it back in the library.
No, I'll see what I can do with it.
Well, that seems excessive.
And if no one really wants it, I'm sure we can eventually find a buyer for the right price for any of the stuff.
Cassius can get behind that idea.
I switch back over into my coat.
All right. So I'm guessing you guys head out of here?
Yes, I think we've spent enough time away from the sun.
All right. So you head up the little hallway and you open up the door and it's really bright for some reason as you walk through. And all of you pass through into this room, and as you walk in, you hear other doors opening as you walk in. And you are left looking at a circular room. The roof is kind of like half domed. The floor has a slope to it. In this room, there are 10 doors. The one that you walked out of, and 9 more around.
Does this look like the room we used to enter the library?
Yes.
I'm just going to start punching through one of the walls, because fuck all this nonsense.
Can we see the staircase, or is it
Wait,
gone?
You
still?
see the staircase. You're the only one who's had a high enough perception to see the staircase.
All right, Congo line. Everybody somebody grab my shoulders and just Congo line it. We're gonna make it to the stairs.
I'll grab his shoulders.
All right. And are you just leaving this entire place?
There's a
We got
Gorga
the-
still wandering around. Do we want to explore more or get back to town and come back later?
I mean, we weren't here to kill the Gorgon, right? The Gorgon's just been in its own house being a
We
Gorgon.
were here for that tome, but I'm sure there's many more interesting things here.
I mean, that sounds like it'll be fun to come back and visit later.
Well, Sorka, your votes?
I'm going. I'm
You'd like
good
to-
with going back to check to see how things are going. I don't know how time works inside of this place, so I have no idea how long we've actually been gone.
Well, we took a few days to get here, and we've spent at least 2 days here.
What do you mean time works here differently? What?
It may not, but we
Yeah,
saw.
I was saying I don't know how it works. If we feel like we've been here for 2 days and we've actually been here for 2 months. So
How are y'all talking about this so nonchalantly? Is this a common thing that happens with y'all? Time just does whatever it wants. Like I've spent 2 days and it's always been like I've blacked out before, but that's not what we're talking about, right? Hey,
magic
Cassius,
can do curious things, is all I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, just be glad you've not gone to the Feywild.
No, I've been to that bar.
I mean, you could come back before you were even born. You could come back after your grandchildren have died. You could come back at the exact moment you left. But
If I go before I was born and I get with my grandmother, what happens to me?
magic.
See, this is why I don't like magic. How does 2 + 2 = fish?
Calculus.
Witchcraft.
Calculus is from another realm.
Okay, you can call it what you want. It sounds like witchcraft.
You've seen all of us do amazing feats.
I'm just gonna go. Ooh.
Right, amazing feats that just like don't really make sense. Like they're amazing, but that doesn't mean like I get it. Because I can do the same motions y'all do, and like then I'm just standing there looking like I can't dance.
You're a byproduct of magic anyway. I mean, you're walking around after you clearly died. I don't.
It's still weird though, right? Like look at everyone's reaction to me. It's fucking weird. That's all I'm saying. Magic's just weird. Kala gets what I'm saying. Oh God, did we forget Tala in the library?
No, Tall's with you.
Right, Tala, you get what I'm. Okay, let's conga line out of here.
1 second. He gives you a like small reassuring smile as he says, "Sure."
Good
You can
enough.
insight that if you want.
I'm just going. Ignorance is bliss. I'll just take the sure and move on with my day. All these magical fucking people around me. Cassius will just keep walking behind Dio, just mumbling under his breath. Correction, I'm gonna hang out with Tala because Tala gets me. Like me and Tala, we're here.
Let's make our way out of here and get back to town. We can come explore more. But we need to see how things are coming in town, and I believe Sorka needs to investigate that book a little bit.
Yep, and I need to get the other books that I have to the librarians to get them properly shelved.
How many books did you get?
That's none of your business. Enough. Not
Okay,
enough. Enough for now.
Enough for now.
Not as many as she could have got.
All right, so
Come back with a wagon train, didn't she?
If
I
we give her enough
absolutely will
free
be.
time, she will.
Yes.
So, as you all are heading out, you follow. Someone give me a history check for trying to figure out how to get the hell out of here. It has been a couple days. See if you can remember the path.
17, 19.
Yeah, you remember how to get out. You follow the same path through. You go through that large room where you killed the Medusa, whose body is gone. You find that secret passage again. You go through that. You make it through the poisonous room. You head up the stairs. When you get to the top of the stairs, you see all of the statues in the main room. One of them looks new. Like, one of them has been replaced.
Is it anyone that we recognize?
No.
Okay.
But it has been... it was a human and has been replaced with... I don't remember the exact ancestry, what they're called, but it's not Tabaxi, it's the Lion Folk. I
The
don't remember
Leonin.
I don't remember their exact naming. Oh, the Lena?
Leonid?
Leonin.
Leonin. Yeah, it's a Leonin.
That sucks for him. Let's keep going.
I look at the statue to see if there's anything interesting on it that wasn't turned to stone.
No.
Okay.
It looks like he was holding something at one point, like a weapon of some kind. Like there's a void where a weapon should be in his hand.
All right. Let's make our way back and see if we can find our boat or any boat.
As you start heading back, you do realize that yes, your boat is gone. But there is another one here. It's a different one.
Is it better?
It's kind of a lateral movement on the whole like boat exchange thing.
All right. Well, we got a boat.
Are you going to be heading back to the town that you were originally in and trying to charter your way home? Or are you going to do the sociopathic crazy thing and attempts to take this little swamp runner all the way back home?
Well, either way, we're going to have to pass that town, and not many people want to go to that town. We had hard enough time chartering to it. How far was it on foot?
On foot? I believe it was a few days. Travel on foot to get from the swamp to the town.
No, I mean from like...
Oh, from that town back to where you were?
Yeah. All the way home.
That'll take you probably close to a month going across land.
Oh, no.
It took like a week-ish going across the water, but that's because you could continue moving like throughout shifts. And like most ships that come from the Azir, they had a caster that could keep the sails at full rigging the entire way.
What time of day is it when we leave?
When you're stepping outside, actually, I need to pull up that spreadsheet. Give me my spreadsheet. My calendar.
So if we bring this boat to the guy who we got a boat from, do we get our gold back? It's not the same boat, but it's a lateral movement, so at least he got a boat back.
Yeah. I just don't know if we should try to brave the ocean in this thing. We probably should head back to that town no matter what.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to go back to that town. Like that, I don't know about that boat, but a month is a long time. But I don't see that boat taking us any less time.
So it is fairly early morning when you step out.
Our sleep schedule got thrown the fuck off. We woke up in the middle of the night. Or something weird happened.
Is it the same time of year?
Yes, it is still in the summer.
Let's head back to town and figure out what fucking day it is. If that matches up, at least.
So it does take you a couple days to get back to town.
Yay! Long grass dinghy. At some point.
When you finally get back to town, that first town, you are met with, there's people around the docks and all of that. There is a ship that has a dark flag on it with stars. It's not the same ship that you came in on. It's a ship that you don't recognize at all.
But we might be able to charter it.
And you notice that sitting on the railing next to the gangplank is a Dwagar woman. She has a very large, very wide-brimmed hat.
Naturally.
And she is not wearing one of those pendants. She also looks fairly young. Like, compared to the last captain that you had dealt with.
I walk up to her because I'm wearing the tongue's amulet. This might be a strange question, but what is the date?
I don't come into these waters often, but I know that it is among the fourth moon, though the moon is getting close to full, so...
I see a bunch of kids now listening.
Does that line up with when
it's farther along than you think, than you thought it would be.
Pay attention to.
How much further along?
Close to 2 weeks.
Oh, well,
About a week and a half.
that's not too bad. Where's your next destination from here? We've spent some time in the wilds, and
Well, originally I was going to sail through the lake and head back down towards the ocean. But I can make an extra stop if you can make it worth my trip.
yeah, we find ourselves in need of transportation around, and my brain is not working. What is our city called?
Mandan.
Mandan, that's right. I was thinking something with a P for some reason.
That's because one of the larger cities from the past that you've dealt with in other campaigns.
Um,
Blue horse, what do you see?
my compatriots and I need to make our way back to Mandin.
I know a few captains talk about it.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure I can, with some assistance, get chartered over there.
It might be worth your while. Trade is beginning to grow through Mandin again, so it might need to become a regular stop. But I won't expect you to take my word for it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 of us need passage.
All right. And what do you plan on giving in trade for said passage?
White dog, what do you see?
I have coin as well as. What are your normal trade goods?
Black sheep, what do you see? I see yellow fish.
Reason I've been doing
Yellow fish,
foodstuffs.
You see.
Figured might as well try and get into
I see
that kind of
yellow.
run.
I mean, we could also pay them in goods, couldn't we, when we get there?
Say 20 gold apiece for passage. Unfortunately I don't have many exotic foodstuffs that would be beneficial to you.
I see a bunch of kids. Kids. What do you see?
Yes, I guess coin would work. Give me a persuasion real quick.
24. Right? Yeah, 24.
I still have the Medusa head. Do you think they'd like that?
I think we should keep that for our own personal use.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 20 gold will 20 gold should do it. But we aren't leaving today. We're doing a turnaround and should be launching just before the sun in the morning.
Perfect. That gives us time to settle some other affairs.
All right.
Shall we meet you here at first light?
If you aren't on the boat by Sun's Crest, then you're not on the boat.
Excellent. Here is our 60 gold deposit. And I'll give you the further 60 when we're on our way.
All right.
We should return this evening.
All right. So,
Does anyone have anything they want to do? Should we try and get some money back for our little swamp boat?
Yeah. I think that was your money anyways, wasn't it?
I have been paying for everything, haven't I? Whatever, it's just money.
Yeah, you're not a bad guy, Dio. I'm sorry, to clarify, you would make a horrible criminal. That's what I meant. Well, you're way too like straightforward and like giving them half
It's
a
funny
punch.
because I haven't earned a single coin that I own.
Oh, that just makes you a crook, not a criminal. You're well, no. Technically, you have a barony, so you're not a criminal. You're a politician. I think that's worse.
How dare you insult me as such?
I mean, if you
I
steal from
fucking
people,
hate paperwork. Thank you.
that the politician doesn't do paperwork. Have you ever seen a lord do paperwork? No, they give it to someone like Sorka usually, or Wells.
Wells is more of an enforcer. I'm more of a lobbyist.
That's definitely worse. But
And
you're
that
good.
comment
but
caused
aren't
an
you a
eyebrow
threat?
raise again, by the way.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That comment caused an like unseen eyebrow raise.
I just
I don't-
grease my palms to look the other way from my endeavors.
Right, that's just a businessman, right? Isn't that how that works?
Depends on who you ask. I consider myself a very successful businessman.
Right, like but that's what I'm saying. Like you just pay people off so you can do what you want. That's a businessman.
I'm sorry that I kept in the
It's like a criminal, but legit, because lords do it. You know, like the stuff they do should be illegal, but they have the money, so no one says anything. Like that's businessman lord. Yeah.
I prefer to be as unknown as possible in the affairs, though. The shadows are more my cup of tea, though. Where is that little fucker that tried to fleece us when we first arrived? I look around the docks.
Are we roughing him up?
No,
Damn.
but I'm going to make him a deal that hopefully insults him just as much.
Okay.
You can, as you're looking around the, as you're looking around the docks, you don't see him.
Bar.
To the bar.
Both because, tavern, but also he's probably there. I don't think there's anything else to do here. Dio remembers where the bar is, right? We don't have to roll for that.
Yeah, you remember where the bar is.
Yeah.
Both of you do.
I spend enough time in them, I should know where every single one is in every city I go to.
I think it'd be similar to like Sorka's eyebrow. You just have like a sixth sense for it. It's like a metal detector, but instead of measuring like a Geiger counter, instead of measuring radioactivity, it's just a level of alcohol in the air. Yeah, ambient alcohol. Ringgood, we're getting close.
Didn't you know that when you attend Barding College, one of the first things you do is a ritual to gain a sensory organ that senses alcohol in the air?
I should become a bard.
It's a little known ritual.
Do we have to play an instrument? I'm pretty good on the cowbell.
I don't know. There is a skin flute class.
Played that before.
I
Is it
avoided
hard?
it, but
Seems like it'd take a long time to master it.
I don't know. Most people have an intuitive sense of it.
Not much of a musical person myself.
We're
These
just making
people I
our
play with.
DM hate their life.
These are the people I choose to run for.
I'm playing a charisma character, okay? I didn't say it was good charisma, it's just I have a presence. As Sorka can unfortunately attest to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cassius has a presence too, but it's less of a hey, look at that guy in the bar, and more of a hey, let's grab the pitchforks and torches.
Anyways, you do make it to the bar.
Can Cornelius be our cabbage merchant?
No, I don't think he was a cabbage guy. More of a like most people in this area, trying to get fish and the like.
That was an Avatar reference.
Oh, I know it was.
Making sure.
We don't like him enough to be the cabbage guy.
Cabbage guy shows up consistently and makes everyone laugh.
Yeah, this guy's just kind of a tool.
So yeah, Cornelius is in the bar. He's drinking his usual like low grade drink.
I go sit beside him.
I sit on the other side and sling my arm over his shoulders.
Oh. Looks like you made it back. That was my boat.
Indeed, and do I have a deal for you? I happen to have a vessel you can purchase, and little birdie tells me that you don't actually have anything. This vessel made it to the ruins and back, so it's a step above anything in town.
I mostly got out of fishing a little while back.
Oh, but you're definitely in the fleecing business. Pretend to have something, charge a ridiculous price, go pay someone else who actually owns it a much smaller price. I figure we cut out the middleman here and give you something you can sell in the future.
What are you thinking?
What was it you quoted me? 200 gold? I'll give you a screaming deal so that you can have a margin. 195 gold.
Lovely as that sounds, I'm going to keep with working a farm.
But I thought you were a fisherman,
Was a fisherman.
like a bad fisherman. Then
I just pat him on the shoulder. No worries, I just wanted to insult you as much as you insulted us on our first trip in. Put a couple silvers on the counter. Couple rounds on me.
So what did you say Cornelius was drinking?
Pretty cheap ale,
Swill.
more or less.
I pick up his cup and drink it, like down it. Dio just gave him, a couple rounds, so it's not going to hurt him.
Anyway, you should cheer up your disposition, because I don't think you're well liked around town.
I think there was people asking us to get rid of him.
No, they just
Well, they implied it.
fed up with his antics.
Right. I mean, they said it'd be better if he wasn't here, so that's all I'm saying.
You really just like to muscle everything, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I was mainly just messing with him. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate it. I really do.
that's what I did before I went into the church, and like, it's a lot of hard habits to break.
Nah, we'll just leave him with a couple drinks. I just, you know,
Yeah.
how about 175 gold?
Ooh, what a deal!
No, I already paid the property.
No, okay.
Got a few animals coming in.
I bet they're sheep, aren't they?
Ah, well, anyway, we did make it back. I know you are hoping that no one makes it back, but we did. So just keep that in mind.
And we're nice. You could do this to someone who's a lot less nice than us, and that'd be probably interesting to see, honestly. Whew.
I bet it would be.
Anyway, how many people are in the bar?
Still pretty. It's about midday-ish, so you got a little bit of a lunch rush. About 10, 15. Not including staff and Cornelius.
Okay. Does everyone want some food? Beer?
That might not be a bad idea since, we've been subsisting on what's in our backpacks for the last.
Rations, yeah.
Yeah.
Some scavenging.
They'll have to eat. That's right.
Justice hunts for us regularly, so we at least get fresh meat pretty often.
Yeah, but these swamps, like all the rabbits are small and sickly, and like all the animals were just like there's just no good animals. Like I feel like they're all half starved.
We grab a corner table and I pay for a round of drinks and lunch for everybody.
All right, the whole ordeal will cost you 2 gold.
Sounds good.
I will slip Dio a gold, or just like slide one over to him.
I begin playing finger tricks with it.
Yeah, the food isn't bad. It's a fish stew. You have a little bit better of a ale than most others were getting.
So we have some daylight left. Does anyone want to go exploring around? Or have anything they want to do?
Is there anything to do here?
I was thinking of looking for some plants to aid in potion making.
I mean, I'll go with you. I'm not much of a plant guy myself, but
I don't know what too much in this area, but we might as well get some use out of that boat before we leave it. Sorka, are you just going to be poring over your book, or do you want to join?
Yeah, I don't want to bring the book out of my locked pocket until I'm safely in my library. So, yeah, we can wander around. I'm good with that.
Excellent.
So, who are we giving this boat to? Because I want to make sure Cornelius does not get it. Like, I'd rather sink it.
Well, who was it? Didn't we get? I thought we got the boat from somebody other than Cornelius.
We did. They had 2 boats. One of them was super damaged, though.
Right, but they were also the reason we bought their boat is because they were getting out of the fishing stuff. and they gave us the decent boat for a good price, but we paid them for the boat and said if we came back that we would get like the rest of it. Like we rented it. Essentially, we gave them money to buy it, but since we came back, we get some of that money back. We just rented it. Or we can just give him the boat and let him sell it again. I don't care. Just
Yeah, I
not for
mean, he gave it to us for less than Cornelius was, I believe, gonna
Yeah.
fleece us
We
for.
we
so-
paid 50 gold for it on the condition that we bring it back. We would get 25 back.
I mean, he can keep
I
the
will
50
throw
gold.
25 gold into the coffers.
Yeah,
and
I don't
just let
care
the
about
guy
money,
have it. This is a poor fishing village.
but it's not even his boat that came back. It's someone else's boat.
It doesn't matter. A boat's a boat.
A boat's a boat.
As
He
long
could
as
sell
it
it.
was in like decent shape, he'll be able to make a deal with another fisherman in the area or something like that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even worried about getting the money back.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go insult Cornelius.
No, I can fully appreciate that. I can fully appreciate going after people that annoy you. So
I'm sure you do. It's the right level of petty.
yes, exactly. So let's get this decent person back a boat and then wander around town for a bit before we take a quick nap and get on the boat home.
I mean, I can just nap on the boat.
We'll get a decent rest before they kick off in the morning, but if we get done early enough, a nap is not a bad way to pass the day. Especially in a swamp. It's not very pretty out here.
All right, so you're looking for just some plants and whatnot.
Specifically, plants that might be useful in healing potions. Either directly ones that I know work or that might work as replacements.
All right. Give me a... You have alchemist set, correct?
Yes.
Do you have herbalism as a trained tool?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yes, you can use the animal ring until Justice joins us.
Sorka, do you have herbalism as one of your kits?
I have the healer's kit, but I was trained to find plants to make things with. So I don't know,
So you have that as a specific part of yours.
I have a healer's kit specifically as part of mine. We didn't add herbalism in, but it was
Almost
training
implied.
it was training in herbalism, finding the right plants to make salves and stuff with.
All right. Trying my armrest to sit in the way that I would be most comfortable.
Then I guess my first thing is I'm gonna go around town and see if anyone has an herbalism kit I can purchase from them.
All right, give me that. Give me a investigation.
15.
15. You. That's a...
Go sit down.
You do find one person that is selling them. It's not the general merchandise store. It's another smaller store.
Yeah, but I want to be able to get the shears and everything to properly harvest plants. And...
Yeah, he does have a full kit that you can buy at store value.
Yeah, let's see. 1 second. I need to. Okay, I've definitely got enough money. I'll buy it. I'll subtract the correct amount of money after I find out what it is. Do you have a guide on local plants or plants in general?
I have one spare. That's the only spare I do have. It'll cost you a little bit more than normal than a normal book would run you.
That's fine. New to the area. Wanna get my bearings.
One of those will run you 45. $45 gold. Took a long time to get
Herbalism
my.
kit cheap. Okay, herbalism kit is cheap. 5 gold for that. Cool. How about 30 gold, and you can take one of these, and I pull out one of the paralysis poisons for you to examine and
Don't really have a use for that kind of stuff here. There's enough stuff out there that does. Good for getting angry things, and most of us do fishing. Something like that taints the food.
okay, fair enough. 45. So I'll give him 50 gold total.
All right, he counts it out thoroughly. He sets half of it aside and puts it into a small bag before putting the rest of it into his coffer.
Are there any markings on the bag?
Not on the bag, but there is a note in his ledgers. If you want to give a, that'd be an investigation for it.
Not a perception?
Perception is investigation is
Well, it's still eyesight. Investigation is not bad. 17.
17. Looks like he was trying to get the materials to make probably a third copy,
Okay.
but didn't have the funding. Past tense.
Smart.
He looks to be a pretty good shopkeep. Like, his stuff is organized. At least you can tell it's organized. Not to, like, your taste, but it works.
Still, it's smart. Cool. Yeah, and then we'll do our search, and I'll be using the book. I start training myself on herbalism as well. As like a practical experience. So
All right. So for doing the search, you can get advantage for it, seeing as you're using the book.
okay. And then I'll roll an intelligence check. So herbalism kit would just be, would that be wisdom or
It would be wisdom or intelligence. Wisdom survival or intelligence nature.
Okay, we'll go with survival, but no proficiency bonus.
Yeah, once you're trained in the herbalism kit, you can do essentially like a tools check of that. So either wisdom or intelligence still.
That's not bad. That's a 16.
16. Roll me a d4.
2.
So you're getting the equivalence of 4 like the materials for 4 of those like dry potions that you were given before.
Okay.
But with like altered ingredients for what you found locally.
Excellent. I need something to do on the boat, so
Yeah. I was giving it as a d4 plus 2.
yeah.
Because it would have been a +1, but because you have an herbalism kit, but you also have a book knowing what you're doing.
I'm assuming it takes us a significant portion of the day.
Yes, this entire process is taking you the better part of the day. By the time you finish, the sun is thoroughly down. And even with dark vision, you're realizing that the colorations for the plants is becoming a problem. And you picked you picked an entire amount of plants that you thought was right, and then you got a little bit closer to town and you realized
Yeah,
these
Dark vision shows shades of gray. So
unless you
yeah.
have true dark vision, which none of you have.
Even then, I think it shades of gray past a certain point.
Right. But remember with my rulings for because I like
Yeah.
the making some of the creatures that had dark vision back in older editions fancier, so it doesn't feel like you either have it or you don't. True dark vision is flat colors.
Yeah.
So it is.
I have upgraded dark vision though because of my sorcery.
You do.
That's fine.
But even
Or is
still,
more
the
than
flat color, like it's
Yeah.
like getting shades of green, it becomes difficult without a light source. Like you know it's green, which means that they are healthy plants versus some of the plants that you come across were wilted. So you can see the green versus brown, but it's the shade of green. Like
Excellent.
So it's like green red color blindness.
well, it's just flat colors. Like imagine looking at an object without a light variant. Like it's just
Right.
like there's no shading. So the red on my shirt would be the purest vision of that, but you can't like see where the wrinkles are as well because that's a light variation. You can see that the shirt is red with white and black, but you
But I
can't.
mean, if
Stop, dude.
Yeah, like
I got
it's
you.
flat colors.
I'm tracking.
So like dwarves can tell I'm going from stone to wood, and that's gold. I know that because I can see the yellow in there. I can't tell how quality of gold it is until I get light on it, but I can tell that it goes from that to that. And I can see that there's gold next to a vein of rubies. It's not just stones that are variant. Like you could see the coloration change.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, And I'm assuming that you head back over to the ship.
Unless anyone else has anything else.
Nope.
What else do you need? Blood? Do we need to hunt an animal for you?
Your sword seems
wouldn't
fairly
hurt.
happy recently.
Luckily so far I'm good.
Tala is also doing well. Though he has mentioned that he's running low on his herbs.
Did he mention this previously when we were out searching for stuff?
No, he. You can insight that statement of his base no. I'm currently not looking over the.
So that's a
Roll points.
26.
He doesn't want to be a bother.
Like, do I have some of that stuff in my? I don't I honestly like don't remember if I have any of that in my kit or like just as a backup, or that would be something that I would have to look for.
Give me a. Trying to think of what would be a good role for like planning ahead kind of thing. Um.
A medicine check, maybe, just like making
Yeah.
sure that like
Yeah, medicine check. See if you yeah, give me a medicine check. See if you could have like remembered back then if you had it to like maybe pack a couple extra.
so that's a 21.
It's 21. Yeah, you have a couple more days worth, like maybe a week.
And it's supposed to take us how long to get back on the boat?
If all goes well, it should take just under a week to get back.
Okay. Okay. So
Uh,
I will let Tala know what I have and ask if he wants to just take what I have or take part of what I have on his person.
With my perception, do I notice this byplay?
Yes, you are noticing of the like the interaction.
I just walk up to Sorka with my herbalism book and I show me what you need.
But this was after we've already like looked for stuff. This is
We weren't looking for. We were looking for other stuff.
yeah.
I will stay out late tonight. Show me what you need.
Now is it weird stuff that wasn't in like the that's
Some of
what
it
I
looks
don't
like
know.
it's some of it looks like it was it had to be imported originally. Uh give me a Arcana
Okay.
because I'm using kind of Arcana as like the catch-all book smarts kind of skill.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Looking through the book, you're not finding everything exactly, but you are highly sure that you can make out of everything in the book you find that you either have on your person within your kits that you currently have, except for a couple things that Dio is going to have to go look for. Uh, and it looks like you're going to have to substitute one and hope it works.
Okay, and that's just that will be like the backup, like just
Yeah.
in case things take longer than planned. But I will give Tala a week's worth.
All right. Tala will mark up on his inventory range an extra week.
And then just say I do have one more week, and then we'll, I guess, try and make do if something weird happened and we're out here longer. We may have to punt.
Also, Dio, as you're looking over this book, you're kind of you can start seeing gears turn of how to make things that maybe the locals hadn't thought of combining. This is essentially DM saying you can start making, like, as we had talked about before, like making movement forwards, like leaps and bounds of advancements within the world. The locals were like at status quo, everything works, it's fine. You're one of the first few people that starts thinking outside of the box. Again.
So yeah, what Dio wants to do is go back to the boat and really like do a proper look over the whole book before he goes out again.
All right.
Get everyone settled down. And I'd be happy to make my intelligence check for this to see how potentially successful this plan is, but to just go out and start sweeping the area overnight for anything that looks useful from the book, with a focus on the things that Sorka and Tala need, but just a lot of shit to experiment with.
So first, give me a intelligence check. This is going to be your first check for becoming proficient with your herbalism kit. DC 15.
I hit exactly 15.
All right, and we're gonna give you 10 for your necessity. Wait, you're half proficient in it, right?
I'm half proficient in anything I try.
So that's a yes.
I would assume I need at least one success for the half proficiency, so yes.
All right, so yeah, you'll need 10 to be able to get full proficient.
Okay.
That was about the range that we had last time, right?
Yes.
All right. So getting full proficiency is 20. You can go for expertise, but expertise is another 25.
Yeah, no. Not yet. I don't have that much free time.
All right, and give me either nature or survival for your sweep. What are we doing?
We're gonna do survival.
All right.
Can I have a Noct help me?
Yes, Noct can help you. What's Noct look like currently?
Noct right now is going to be a pure black owl.
Okay, yeah, Owl will be able to help you.
19.
19. Roll me a D3.
Okay. Fuck you. Okay, D6. 1 to
1 and 2 is 1. 3
Yeah.
and 4 is 2. 5 and 6 is 3.
That's just a 1. Yay.
So you get 2 more days worth of what you need specifically, but you have a handful of like other herbs and roots and stuff like that. Like you have a plethora of other things, but the ones that you were looking for specifically, you have 2 more. I was giving you a D3 plus 1 for the potential of 4.
Yeah. No, just
I'm
I want
not
to
letting you have just 1.
Yeah. No, I'm just giving them some padding.
Yeah. So when you finally get back, as you're getting back onto the ship,
What's our sleeping arrangements like on this ship? All of us in one room, or
all of you are in the storage, essentially. Like everything else is battened down, and they said set up your blankets in here.
cool?
They don't have hammocks.
So if we're in the storage, I set up the magic tent in the storage room so everyone can be comfortable.
Right, you have that fucking tent.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you have the tent. Just letting you know this is a tight fit. You almost give me a what would be a good like spatial awareness kind of
And
a what?
perception? I don't know.
I know you want everything to be perception because they have a plus 14 on that shit.
No, I've got +9. It could be insight. Or can I deceive the storage hold into accepting the space of the tent?
I would say
Wait it.
insight's wisdom based, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's the closest to it that I could think of.
You never said it was like a massive tent.
It's not a massive tent, but this is not a big boat.
21.
21, yeah. You have to do a little bit of finagling. It fits. But you're sure that if you didn't take this time and look at it before setting it up, it would have taken you longer. Like, you're getting the tent set up. But the amount of herbs on the back end is the payment for getting it set up.
Yeah.
So in total, you have marked down 10 quantities of testing herbs. And you can use a test for figuring out things. And so you're essentially you have to use a testing quantity to be able to try and create something new. And if you succeed at creating something new, you can mark down that you know a recipe for that thing. And that test turns from whatever it was into a success. And if you take a test and you fail, you now know that these ingredients don't work together, and that test is thrown out.
Makes sense. But so I would have set up that tent like before I left so that everyone could get cozy.
Yeah, hence why you have 10 instead of like
Yeah. Less time. Much
Right.
less time.
Like the lowest I was going to give you is like 4.
And then whenever I get back, I'm just going to stealth over to Sorka's room and leave a little wrapped package of the herbs for her.
All right. Sorka, give me a what would that roll be? Either insight or investigation of Tala for how many because when he said he's about to run out, you're not exactly sure what numbers he's at.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna do an insight.
All right, so you're trying to read it off of him.
17.
17. You're pretty sure that running low is like he's got like 3 days.
Okay.
You get
So I gave him what I know is right, was formulated specifically for
him.
For a week. So I will do my best to like mix this up based on my knowledge from my teacher. Knowing that like this is just kind of like our emergency supply that I will put in like a different colored like pouch, so I know that like this is only we're only going to use this in case of like dire emergency.
Right. You can put like what was it? 3? No, 2. 2 quantities of uh Tala's herbs question mark or asterisk.
Yeah, basically exactly, just so I like know when I'm like
You're muted.
rifling through stuff um that I know like okay, this is our last resort. um
Yeah. So, by the way, Dio, you're talking into a dead mic.
or the
Fantasy
boy,
Might All.
whichever.
It's better than nothing. Fantasy Might All cooked in a crack kitchen.
All right. So, yeah, you have 2 days worth of but at least you have 14 days, which is just over 2 weeks of definite.
Yeah. Yep.
No, not 14. 1 week is 6 days. So you have 10 days total of. You have 10 days of good with 2 days of maybe.
And 7 of those days Tala had, because I gave Tala a week's worth.
Right. And Tala had 4 left. So Tala has. You didn't have 7. You had a week's worth, and a week is 6
You
days.
said 2 weeks.
I did say 2.
You said I had 2 weeks. Yeah.
You had 2 weeks, so you had 12.
So then I would have given Tala 6, figuring that Tala was like only had like a day left or something like that, and I'm like, okay, this will get you for 6 days. Then I still have some of the good stuff in case we're delayed, and then we have a couple of days of like maybe, and hopefully we don't need to use that second 6 days and the maybes.
Right. All right. So,
It was
As-
first, it's an emergency stash. I just don't want you running too close to the line.
thank you, sir. So, morning comes. The sun just starts cresting, and right before the sun crests, you hear the gangplank getting pulled up, the ropes getting pulled, the anchors weighed, and right as the sun is cresting over the horizon, you hear the sails unfurl, and you guys are underway. She is punctual as fuck.
I'm curious as if she grows to be big ass size to push us out like we got dragged in.
You're noticing that this ship is a lot skinnier of a base. This ship seems to be better designed than the previous ship that you were
Okay.
used for getting into this kind of area. You guys are underway, and this trip will take you probably a week. Someone give me a D12 roll from someone.
I'm making someone else do it, so I'm not the only one talking.
10.
10. All right. Your trip is pretty uneventful. As you sail, you realize that, yeah, it is nearing the end of the first month of the summer periods. And it does take you just 1 week to get from that town back to Mandan.
Okay.
Am I able to do any more checks over the course of the boat by just studying the book, or do I need to be able to have access to plants as well?
You can do checks using just the book. Using just the book will bump the DC to a 17.
I'm sorry, stuff going on. What was that? 17 DC?
Yes, for using just the book.
Okay. I'll message you on what those are.
And that means you get 6 rolls. All right. When you get back to the town,
Yeah, all Cassius is going to do on that voyage is just get a rope tied to one of the outriggers on the mast and just use that like the gym class thing. Like he's just working out. He's trying to get that one that he's at 19. He needs that 20, so he's practicing on that. Just no legs, just arms, upper body. On the sea while it's rocking, it'll be great workout. Tala apparently doesn't feel like it. I don't know.
yeah, Tala is not used to the waters at all.
He said it was fucking with his stomach, I think.
Yeah, last time it messed with his stomach. So after a while, you guys end up back in Mandan. I think we'll take a small break now. You guys are back in Mandan. And there is another boat in the dock when you show up.
Do we know this boat?
Oh yes, you recognize the Jasper.
That's the boat that Dio has to deal with, right?
That is the one with Captain Hold.
Yeah, our enterprising young friend has a bow on the boat.
So you make it into town. And you notice that the streets are a little bit more crowded than they usually were. A lot of faces you don't recognize.
And that's good.
Go try and find someone from the council.
Trying to find someone from the council?
Yep.
That one I'll let you run a perception on.
I help.
24.
No, never mind. Fine.
24. How do you... Yeah, I know how you got that number. I'm just surprised that it's only a 24.
I rolled a 15, okay?
So as you're trying to look around and get some kind of basis together, you see Samuel. And they're currently sitting outside of the little cafe place where you've seen a few of the council members gather before. And sitting with them are a few elves and a couple humans.
I just go take a seat. The city seems to be bustling in our absence.
One of the wood elves looks you over.
What day is it? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out what day we are.
I believe that introductions are probably in order. Or are you just one of those types that randomly sits with elders of the town?
I tend to sit wherever I will please. But you, of course, know that. Turn to the others. Dionysus, at your service, one of the
Move it
barons.
So this is one of the ones that you were telling us about. Oh yes, they are.
Family members, eh?
Yes, actually. This man here is my father. This is Paolo. That is that it's spelled P-A-H, and there's a space, L-O.
from the back.
Okay. Paulo. Pleasure.
Well, paha, hello.
Oh, and these are my associates. The kind of clammy one there is Cassius. Then we've got our wonderful Sorka. Don't insult her books. Just trust me. The strong, silent, broody type is Wells. The winged lass back there is Justice, and the very timid young boy over there is Tala.
He's not timid. He's just staying back, getting a view of everything. He's a bodyguard. He's working. Also, Clammy.
Well, you don't radiate much body heat, so, and we just got off the ocean, so a little clammy. Sure, you'll dry out soon enough.
Am I clammy? This whole time, and no one told me.
I'm going to reach out and just touch Cassius's arm.
Yeah, it's a little clammy.
Maybe a little just from being on the water, but I hadn't noticed that you were clammy before this, so
Okay.
I think somebody is exaggerating.
I said I was sure he would dry out soon enough.
I'm really getting the whole everyone wants to cut Dio thing. I'm just saying.
Everyone comes around.
It's
You
what
love-
brings us together.
I'm just too useful for you to kill.
No, it's the thing that like we can give you a hard time, but nobody else can. Like
Well, I mean,
we would kill for
Theo,
you, but we would also punch you in the face.
I deserve it most of the time.
Yes, you do.
Anyway,
like Dio, it did keep y'all from hurting me. Like, let y'all know I wasn't a zombie and shit. So I do appreciate that.
anyway, internal drama aside, what brings you to town?
Remember when I mentioned I was going to possibly try and get us some assistance?
Is this the assistance?
Pa sits forward and places his elbows onto the table, hands hovering over his wine glass. While I am not quite sure how much help that we might be, we will
It's fine. Shut up.
do our best to make sure that the home of my child is held safe.
Well, we hope to make this a safe region for all and any and all assistance. Many things got reduced or broken under previous leadership or lack thereof.
I have been informed as such.
The council did their best to hold everything together, but it is time to revitalize the area. And there is a place for everybody. You're welcome here. I hope that Samuel has expressed our displeasure at discrimination.
Oh no.
Shut
Oh, I have heard such movements, and I am quite grateful for it. In fact, I was moving this direction off of a other letter when the others finally caught up. I am glad that though I came with some force, not all of it is necessary as we had hoped.
Well, if you have forces, we definitely could use expansion of the god. If they choose to be employed as such. Or at least training for some of the townspeople that are interested. Your people will be compensated.
Naturally. I will take that into consideration as I speak with them.
Are you responsible for the uptick? Are all of these your people? I noticed many more walking around town than when we left perhaps a month ago.
Some are, not all. There is quite a few that still do not yet come close to ours, but most of the elven kin and a fair number of the humans here did travel with us.
As I said, all are welcome. Samuel, any major issues while we were away?
The only one I can really say that has been any issue is something I would probably put on side at a later time. Less is for such a issue. Nothing too drastic, I assure you, but it is word that I hoped I would not be hearing.
Well, would you and the other council members like to get a proper tour of the manor and discuss later?
Now that sounds quite intriguing. I will, of course, ask all of them, see who all answers the request. At very least, I'm more than happy to come up and remove a couple bottles from your personal stash as we have conversations.
That shouldn't be a problem at all. Thanks. Well, you know where to find us. I believe we'll be heading up to the manor shortly because we were mostly successful in our endeavor away.
Well, that I am glad to hear.
Give your grandson my regards.
Will do.
Good meeting you, Paulo. And I hope discussions with your people are fruitful and we can all contribute together.
I hope so as well. As you are all looking through town, you also do notice that there is a uptick in most ancestries in the area.
Have the orcs made their way to town as well?
You do notice that a lot of that there are a good significant amount of orcs.
Theo just puts his hands in his pockets and starts whistling as he walks along, just pleased to see more people getting along.
You do notice that there is a bit of a like wide berth being given to a couple people that are walking through town. And you notice that this group of people are they come out of the inn and start just heading up north out of town.
The group of people that's being avoided is heading north.
Yep. It is a young woman and looks to be 4 guards. The 4 guards are in full plate.
Any distinguishing markings?
Not on the guards, but the young lady you notice has a flower in her hair. It's a marigold.
Oh. Wonderful. Orange?
It's an orange marigold.
How far away are they from us?
They're about 40, 50 feet away and moving away from you.
I just pull out a small wire and I cast message at her. And I just give a little whistle and go, I think you're looking for us.
Message is a two-way thing, right?
Yeah, she can respond with up to 25 words.
You can reply to this message.
She looks around carefully for a moment before sending a message back. I'm just looking to go home. And then she continues heading north.
Does anyone have anything major in town at the moment, or should we go follow Orange Marigold, the girl?
Sure, let's follow her.
Because our mansion is north, right?
Yep, the manor is to the north.
Yeah, let's go. Did you get my message about? I couldn't remember. We have prestidigitation, right? Just as a thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Oh.
go.
Yeah,
Same.
all casters get that. It's like the training magic spell.
Okay. So yeah, Cassius is dried off and probably a little bit like warmed on at least like skin level at this point. Because I use prestidigitation to basically like create like a warm wind around him to
Help dry me out.
help dry him out.
Because apparently I'm clammy. Which I don't know if Cassius is like if y'all have seen the gash on Cassius's chest, but he usually has like a sash under his coat. But yeah, like since he's drying out, he'll take that like red sash he usually has on, and you can see from like his left shoulder to just to the right side of his belly button. There's a long gash on his chest from where he well the first time he took himself he was taken off the census. It's still like not really scarred up, but it's not like an open wound. It just looks like the skin was grafted over the wound, kind of. It's not great looking, is what I'm saying.
Can I eat now?
Joy.
He's kind of sensitive about it. I mean, it's unsightly, and he otherwise isn't besides being dead, like he's not a terrible looking guy, but he is dead with a giant gash across his chest, and that's really a turnoff for people. Apparently, not having a pulse.
For some weird reason.
I don't know. There's a community that doesn't mind the pulseless.
Well, if you find him, you let Cassius know.
I mean, we don't care at this point. We think you're a pretty decent guy, so
I think he's more thinking of the seedy underbelly. Well, I'm referring to the seedy. We all think you're a stand-up guy, but if you're looking for companionship, there's a market for that.
No, that's right. Just not since the second time I've been alive. It's just not really been a need.
Don't got that blood flow going down there anymore, huh?
Yeah, apparently my libido also died. It didn't get brought back though, is what I'm saying.
That would be an interesting profession for a necromancer, specializing in libidos.
I mean, I'm not terrible off without it. I'm honestly surprised y'all's town doesn't have a house of ill repute. Does it? I've not seen it.
Hmm?
The town doesn't have a brothel, is what Cassius said.
Oh,
He was asking.
I don't think there was enough travel through here for a brothel. The sailors usually bring those.
Ah,
No one wanted to.
I got a bit,
I'm sure one will pop up.
but that's what.
Dio needs
Well,
to know
yeah.
someone in the brothel.
I'm just saying, I could totally run a brothel, except all the money and stuff.
Brothels are good places to get secrets out of. If you want to manage one, we'll discuss finances.
Like I could manage it, but I don't. Like if you give me a list of shit to do, I can do the list, but I'm not good at making the list. If you get what I'm saying.
Talk for another time. I assume we're walking and talking at this point.
Yeah.
Behind Marigold Lady. Not directly.
So it takes you a couple days, but you do make it to the manor again.
Is she ahead of us that entire time?
Yep. And when she gets there, she walks in as if, like, she goes into the manor as if she's been there.
The unmitigated gall.
She makes it to the door, knock is going to land in front of her.
You glitched out on that one. What was that, Dio?
Before she walks in the door, knocked is going to land in front of her.
Are you looking through Nox's senses?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't open her mouth as she looks at at Noct and says, "Please move. I just want to go to my room."
I can cast message. Yeah. I will kind of do some arcane fuckery and use Noct as a focal point for message. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. We are the ones that you need to speak to because this hasn't been your home for quite some time.
Father said that I was to live here if he made cards. As a remembrance, you did make a deal of you are to
Yeah.
watch after someone.
Yeah, we weren't informed who though.
You weren't confirmed with who.
You haven't been assigned at this. I feel like we're still approaching up.
When you're within 60 feet, the two guards at the front immediately about face. And just, you realize that they're not carrying weapons.
We did make a deal as such, but walking in like you own the place without consulting the people who own it and who arranged for the hospitality that you shall receive.
I know I don't own anything here. I just have a bed in one of the rooms above the inn here.
You do, but checking in is polite. So that we know that the ward that we are supposed to be looking after is here.
Cassius has not stopped walking towards the door.
It's been some time since we were back. Is your father still here?
Father went home for materials for making cards.
We need to have a conversation in the morning. Go get yourself and your companions settled. You can find me down at the bar pretty much anytime, but find any of us, we'll gather together and we'll have a conversation.
She nods and starts moving towards the door again. This is the door entrance for where the bar is.
Yeah. Well, home sweet home. We've got company.
And I have work to do, and I make a beeline for the library.
Hold up, Sorka.
What?
I reach into my coat and I pull out 4 books that I
Yay.
snagged off of the shelves.
Thank you.
I feel like I just barely even pull them out before she snatches them out of my hands.
Yep. and I I'm almost at a run, and I go to the library, close the door.
In the distance, just like 10 seconds later, you hear, "You're welcome."
I said thank you as I grabbed them. I was not rude. I'm going to see if like anybody other than my librarians and my scribe are in the library.
There are a couple people that you don't recognize,
And
but
I
they're
will
all
ask,
pouring
are
over
these
books.
librarians, or are these scribes, or are you doing research? Like, this is where I'm going to get rude.
Most of them respond with they are doing research.
Your research is going to have to wait. I need a few hours with my librarians and my scribe. I will let you know when the library is open again. You can go to the bar and have a few drinks on me. And dinner, whatever. I'll take care of it. Breakfast, dinner, whatever time it is, I don't know.
I'm surprised you didn't offer it on me.
I
have money of my own.
I think she just wants them to fuck out. I think that's what she's getting. She didn't even like that. She didn't even think about making you pay for it. That's how serious this is.
1 second. I have to reread which one. Okay, so it has all of that. So I'm going to be sending over a page image to you, Sorga.
Okay.
Tell me if you can't read it.
Okay.
On my lists, there you are.
Yeah, and as soon as they like the other people leave, I go behind them and I lock up the library.
I don't blame you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to
Are you able to use that image well?
yeah, I should be as soon as I can. Yep, I can. Yep, I can see it.
Awesome.
Okay.
That is your book. Once you attune to it, which will take you a minute. Like attuning to a codex takes a couple days.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that, honestly, like, really, what I'm trying to do, like, that's going to be the last thing I pull out. So I'm going to set the 4 books that Dio gave me down on a table, and then I'm going to start like going through like every pocket and pulling out all of the books that I took from the library and like stacking them up until the librarians like, or one of the librarians comes in. I honestly like don't know how many I actually grabbed, so I'm sure it's probably a table's worth.
Oh, yes. And when you get through the entire process, you see that you have quite a number. Page I lead right there. Yeah. Once you get through that, also as the books are getting put away, the librarians mentioned that there was a copy, like a duplicate, but when they start putting it next to it, the duplicate disappears.
Okay. Yeah, and I wasn't sure like how many of the books that were in that library actually uh
You realize that
synced with
all
my
of them
library.
had a
Okay.
duplicate until the original was put into the in there.
Okay.
As a reminder, this particular library, when books get within a certain range of your library, a copy is put into your library.
Yeah, and I just wasn't sure with this being a magical library, like how much of it actually transferred. So
You do notice that there are, out of all of the books, 2 that do not get copied over. One is your codex. Your codex
right.
does not get copied in. And there's the second book, a cookbook, that doesn't get copied in.
Okay.
You're not exactly sure why this cookbook doesn't get copied in, but it doesn't copy.
You watch FMA, right?
Yes.
Right. Like what everything they were looking for. Like the whole big like plot reveal. That's why.
We're all a bunch of nerds, and I'm okay with this.
I mean, we're all playing D&D. Like that was going to be a biased sample regardless.
So, Sorka is getting books in
And tuning to
and attuning
book.
to the book.
and
Now, note the book does not. I don't believe that the book says it requires attunement.
it does. It says what art requires attunement.
Yes. So once you attune to it, which the reason it's taking a bit longer is basic attunement will get you the first bit. So it'll take 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll take you a total of 5 days to get fully attuned to it.
Okay.
But once you finish that 5th day, that last thing, with the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. All right. So, Sorka is studying in the library for close to a week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll open up the library after the books that I just didn't want people seeing me pull all of these books out of my jacket. So once they're shelved and everything, I'll open it back up, which was probably like, a few hours after I
Alright.
closed it. And then I will sequester myself in a spot in the library or probably in my room, just so I won't be disturbed.
Well, you do know you do have a spot that is both, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, like
The entrance to your specific room, like your office, which is above where the library is hidden.
okay.
Like in the library, you know where it is, and you can show others how to get to it, but majorly you know.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I am there and no one is going to like I probably won't eat for the next like 5 days. Like that's how like
Dio, you are muted.
While the shelving is going on, you're going to hear in your mind, Sorka. And how many days is it going to be before we see you again?
yeah, it looks like a week. So
I'll have meals brought to you.
nah. I mean really that's gonna be my response because I'm just like
I go to the bartender and I go, Sorka is going to neglect herself. Have you or one of your community bring meals by at least twice a day for her, whether she eats them or not, please?
You got it, boss.
Yeah. I was about to say, anyone who's like, their reaction to "I'll have food brought up to you" is, meh. They definitely need someone to bring them food.
Yeah.
When someone's reaction to a basic need is, whatever. That's time to show concern there.
yes, but after those 5 days, let me tell you, it's gonna be fun.
You're looking over what I gave you, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Note, when you created this that particular library, you were going to get a book. Like one of those. There's multiple of those codexes in the world. You will immediately know where the closest unattuned one is to your library.
Okay, so when I was building the library, did I build in an area that was secure within the library that would need like someone to have someone with them to actually look at what's in there?
Like a restricted section kind of thing?
Yeah.
There is a restricted section. It's not that big currently.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine there would be that many codices in existence that it would need to be that big. I just need it to be like magicked, so not everyone can just like go in there.
Yes, you do have a small room. And by small room, it's like there's a single bookshelf, and it's basically like a closet.
It's like a walk-in closet.
Yeah, it's a small walk-in closet, but it's a walk-in closet.
It's big enough for a chair, a little table, and all the books.
Yeah, like this bookshelf behind me, that's about as big of a bookshelf as you have.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, like I said, it's only going to be for these things that are like powerful enough that like they need to be behind a paywall.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know how much Sorka and like how much overlap the book thing is, but I figured you'd get a kick out of this. I actually have a friend who had a walk-in closet and turned it into a book nook. Like
Nice.
the walk-in closet is a book nook with a big comfy chair in the back of it.
That's
It's a little
wicked.
personal library. It's like I like books. I'm not a huge book person, but that was awesome. It's really nice.
Which codex was it?
The Codex Mirror. I'm guessing you're pulling up the strongholds to look it
Mhm.
over.
Some of these are cool, but definitely not fitting our game.
Yeah, not all of them fit the game, which is perfectly fine. The Codex Major, though, that fits the setting, that fits the character. That book fits. That book fits very well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out like how to put this into D&D Beyond. So
I can make it as a homebrew, and because all of our stuff is under my campaign, I can send it over to you.
okay, that would be cool because every time I try and do it myself, it ends up like screwing stuff up, and then I have to keep like trying. Like, okay, nope, that didn't work. So I appreciate any help because yeah, that
Excuse me, Sorcerer Supreme.
What?
I'm just gonna use it to help people.
Cannot be resisted. Fuck.
I don't like the sound of none of this. More magic fuckery.
But it's at least they're on your side.
5%
I feel
hit
bad
for
people.
wild magic. I love it.
Oh, and just look through the wild map. I need someone to be able to play that particular thing for 46 to 49. I don't know how that sounds off the top of my head, but I need to know.
Like worst case scenario, it's toccata and fugue in D minor. If we can't make it be exactly that, if none of us can actually read
Okay,
music.
my voice can't go that low. Fortunately, it's treble and not bass. But ba no, yeah, ba. A small cottage falls on you.
So if that happens, I can be like, I'll drop a house on you too.
Note how it says that you are pinned. In what position that you're pinned.
Yeah, with only your feet sticking out. Exactly. Like what color? Like the shoes are mine.
A sperm whale drops from the sky onto the target.
Not again.
I love
Oh,
it.
no, I'm sorry. That was the bowl of pansies.
It was, but we all got what you were saying.
Hey, when you do that, I'm gonna need you to cast a spell on me, and roll an 85 to 89, please and thank you.
Well, I don't think so. Maybe 90 to 93.
That only lasts an hour though.
Yeah, but it would be a really quiet hour.
Okay, that thing's awesome.
It fits the setting. It fits the world. It fits the game.
Yep. Fits the player.
Very much so fits the player.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun with my mind slipper going forward. What's a DC?
See, I was originally thinking of doing the Terra Nogis, but it didn't fit any of the players. Not this game. Anyways, so yeah, the bar is getting a good bit of business. Everyone's section is doing pretty well. The little guild hall is got people in it working. It's fairly organized, especially with the person that you had put in charge. He is running it very smoothly. And the Hunter's Lodge has people working in it now. There's a couple small trophies hanging on the walls. What do you guys want to do?
Dio's gonna take some of the week that Sorka is holed up to experiment with some herbs and get those potions of healing made.
All right. Give me your intelligence checks.
For which
For learning your herbalism kit. Because
Okay.
you'll be able to get those. Because I know you're wanting to work on that as well, right?
my focus was more going to be on alchemy,
Okay.
on making the healing potions and then experimenting with some of the herbs.
So if you're gonna work on the, we'll do the experimenting for your alchemy kit first. Give me a alchemy check, intelligence or dexterity.
Dex is 17.
All right. You're able to use the items really well, and you're going to use 2 of the tests, 2 of the potentials, and you're getting 4 potions out of it.
What type of potion?
Healing.
Oh, with the experimental?
Yeah, 2 experimentals.
Because I also had enough to make 4 regular that I knew that I had.
Yeah, and those ones just take time. You don't have to worry. If you have the ingredients and you know what you're doing, you can just take like half a day. And
Okay, so potion of healing stuff is gonna go up later.
so you had 4 that you could work with. You're now up to 8 that you've made
Sweet.
in that 1 day range.
Because it was swampy, I think is it safe to assume some of those plants were somewhat aquatic?
Yes.
I'm going to try to formulate a potion of water breathing.
All right, give me a roll.
$13.
Well, now you know that those particular ones don't make a potion of water breathing.
That'll work. And then go out and get some practical experience on herbalism in any free time that others don't need me while we wait for anyone else to, because we've got conversations coming up during the week.
That you do.
So I'll roll those later.
Which conversations are you wanting to go through first? I'll let you guys have the order of you have the conversation with Paul, you have a conversation with the council, and you were wanting to talk to the
girl.
The girl.
Anyone have a preference?
If anything, the council would be the most important one that should get done right away.
Okay. Let's do that.
Luckily, the area is handling it well. Speaking of wells, are you wanting to do any stuff with your guild things or your sword during the downtimes?
Well, regarding the guild, I mean, if anything, he would check in on it, see how it's doing.
It is doing well and turning a profit. It took a little bit of time getting it in place, but you are turning a profit.
So because it's been about at least a month since we left, right?
Yes. Looking over the paperwork, you realize it's been a little bit over a month.
Cool. So then how much money did we lose and how much do we bring in? How much do we have to spend from the treasury?
What was the treasury at before?
17,000.
You are up to 19.
Earning a pretty good profit despite the expenses.
You do realize that, looking over the paperwork, that last bit is a large jump right before you all got back. like a quarter of it was brought in right before you got back.
Well, I'm assuming that has something to do with the Jasper out there. But
All right.
everything in order for you, Wells?
So far, yes.
Excellent. Does anyone need to top up on pocket money? We can spare it.
From the sounds of it, I'm going to guess no.
All right.
Well, if I'm figuring that I'm not anywhere near anybody, I'm still holed up in my room, so I wouldn't have heard this.
Before we depart, we can top up our pockets.
So we're wanting to advance the clock to just after Sorka is finished before talking with the council, or are you wanting to talk to the council without Sorka?
If Sorka, do you want to be present for the council talk?
I don't necessarily need to. Yeah, you guys can fill me in. So you're more than welcome. I mean, if you want to message me, I probably will growl at you, but I can just be like, you can do it without me.
Well, let's not disturb her from her reading. I'm gonna pay for that later. Yeah, if the Samuel has come by with anyone else, then let's figure out what happened.
All of them are there.
Oh, perfect.
Vidalis, Lucas, Samuel, Hagla, and Quaz are all present.
Before any serious conversation, just tour them of the grounds and the various buildings and warn them that Sorka is holed away somewhere in the library and won't be joining us.
Which they are understanding of.
So Samuel said there were some minor things.
Vidalis pulls a letter out of his vest and sets it on the table. While you were gone, this was brought to the council directly.
And what is it?
I think it is best that you see for yourself. And he pushes it all the way across. So that way it's right in front of you.
Pick it up and
When you pick it up, you see that inside there are a couple flower petals that are set in with wax. They are red rose petals.
okay.
The message reads as such. To the new council of the new barony. While some may accept your current position as fact, others need proof. I am not sure where you fall for my barony, but understand we are watching. And I have Baron written down. Give me 1 second. Signed, Yuva Ibadin Farsi.
Well, messages like this were to be expected, but economic growth isn't bad necessarily for anybody. Trade in means trade out, and that means money is flowing. Keep an eye out. I don't think they'll be openly hostile just yet, but if they want to meet force with force, then we know where they lie. I don't think this requires a direct response. Do you, Wells?
Yeah, I would say that. For now, I agree.
Did the messenger say anything else?
It was dropped off by a crow. So, no words.
Interesting.
Sorry, not crow. Raven.
Well, judging from the books and the overall increase in populace, I didn't see too many issues in town. I'd say you all are doing a wonderful job.
Lucas sits up a little bit more proud. Well, you did give us a lot more to work with. Makes it easier.
If you want something done properly, then you can't be stingy. And it benefits all. So I think we made the right decision.
We have no complaints from our ends.
Have there been many dissidents about the anti-discrimination policies?
No, that actually is something that brought in people not to this town, but one a little bit farther north. North and west.
Well, I think it'll continue to help it grow, but as we get more people, be ready for us to actually have to make an example of a handful of people before. At some point, it's just in the nature.
If someone has been upset, they haven't gone forward about it.
Which is good, but it's inevitable, and we all know this. Just we shall maintain a firm hand to show that we are serious. I hope we don't have to do it too much, but I know it's inevitable at some point. I'm glad you didn't have to yet, though.
So are we.
Are there any other concerns or anything we can help you with? Or...
Well, there was the only concern that has been brought up is there needs to be probably a new investment into rebuilding some of the infrastructure of the town. With how much we're growing, some of the buildings had, due to the previous tenant here, I wouldn't necessarily call it leadership. The previous tenant here, there was neglect.
Mhm.
So, new, fixing up some of the buildings that have gone into disrepair, as well as
If they're too ramshackle, just tear them down and start anew. But you have full approval to get infrastructure going. It'll
Alright.
give, and if there's too many idle hands, it'll give them a good way to make some extra coin too.
We are glad to hear it. We'll make sure to pass that in as soon as we get back to town.
I want us all to look over the city and be proud of what we see. I don't want there to be seedy ghettos that we'd rather not talk about. I want everyone to feel as if they have true opportunity in this town, because they do. Let's make it shine.
They all raise their collective drinking apparatuses. Cheers to that.
And if we make it all nice and shiny, it'll be a step towards proving to Uvo or whatever we have every right to be a new barony and become a powerhouse in this region of the world. A happy, healthy, fed community that takes pride in where they live is hard to break and adds legitimacy to all of us here. You all are taking the right steps, and somebody will test us, and that is why. And I look over to Samuel, Paulo, and your people can hopefully be of great assistance. Hagla, how are the orcs interested in defense or?
You have been helping with defense. Some have shown a interest in other endeavors.
Well, we don't want to force anyone into anything they're displeased with, but it is nice to know that the tribes and their strength are at least somewhat on our side.
As long as you can continue showing that it is a good side to be on, we will continue to be on that side.
Excellent. Wells, anything you need to bring up?
I would say not right now. I'm good.
And per Cassius's interests, Would the townsfolk be amenable to dockside brothel?
Quaz starts laughing. Back at home, there was one for a while. When I moved here as a young lass, I thought that there was going to be something like that here. But
Right?
as ships stopped coming, the need for it kind of lowered. As we're getting more trade, doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
Cassius, I think you and Quaz should work together on making that a reality in the future. It can be your little pet project.
Excellent. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be a big boom to the town, I promise.
Oh,
It,
people
it,
need that kind of work.
it keeps sailors moving some extra money through the town, so.
Might as well, right? We'll be able to draw something. Get it sorted.
I will be absolutely clear, though, there will be no trade of workers.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I
This is going to be a nice fucking place.
I trust the council, but we won't have anyone other than townsfolk that we trust in charge of hiring. We won't accept any form of trade of people through there, period. If someone travels here and seems willing, but if they're, we will be very scrupulous about that business.
Fair.
As only a good place should be.
Yeah, it will be safe.
And because it'll be safe, it'll be profitable. Places that aren't safe, they turn into a sinkhole after a little bit. They turn a
True.
quick profit, but they quickly turn out to be just nothing more than waste of everyone's time, money, and effort.
And who am I to judge people who, I know plenty of individuals that are okay with that line of work. It's rewarding in many aspects, so I'm sure we won't have an issue.
Well, I mean, everyone sells their body to some extent.
Exactly.
I mean, we're like, if we like adventuring, like that's risking your body for profit. Like we like almost died and stuff. Didn't one of us get petrified?
Nearly.
Yeah, like that's. Have you ever worked in a factory? Never mind.
It. Considering this line of discussion, it brings a whole new definition to rock hard. Getting petrified.
I think we can do better for a name of for a brothel though. Like it's not bad.
Oh, the Gorgon's special isn't classy enough for you.
That's pretty good. We got time. We don't need to rush into a name, but like I said, it's going to be a classy place.
It's your pet project. You and Quaz can name it.
I'll make sure to either pop by up here or you can swing by. I usually stay close over to the tavern or near the cafe most times. Being retired aside from the council, it has its scheduling benefits.
Speaking of that cafe, I always find at least one of you there.
It's a good place to get a bite to eat, especially if you don't want to. You don't want to go over to the tavern. A little bit quieter, and the patio lets you people watch. Keep an eye on those folks. Let them walk up to you. See you in town.
I like it. If they struggle at all, I don't think they do because they seem a popular spot, but I want to keep that place open. They seem to have a finger on the heartbeat of Mandan.
Well, if anything starts going through the word, you'll be among the first to know.
Question for any of you. Do you know anyone that has, or anyone passing through has work with enchantments?
Vidalis sits there for a moment, rubbing his hands. There was a young lad that was looking into some kind of work like that. And apparently, he came through, said that he studied here at the library for a couple days, came to town, and then headed back north. Only interaction I had with him was just spreading out conversation at the tavern.
If you happen to see him again, just point him this way.
Yeah.
Or anyone else with similar interests. I have work for them.
You don't see many people with skin like that.
Were they of otherworldly descent?
Their skin looked a lot like Cassius and our main ally.
Interesting. Definitely put the word out that I'm looking for work. If you've got anyone going to any of the towns further north or west, just
There should be a caravan heading out in a day or so.
tell them to put the word out that I'm looking for talented individuals.
We should have put out the word.
Thank you. Eat, rest, stay as long as you like, but there is a young lady here that we need to get better acquainted with.
All right. And as that, as you're mentioning that, one of the servers comes over and gets a round of food ordered from them. And the server then leans in and says, "So the meeting room that you set up in the back?"
Yes.
Someone is sitting in there. She paid for just eating there.
Okay.
Couple gold.
Appreciate. Well, then, I assume She's covered for the next however long. Seems to be overpaying a bit, considering she's our guest. Thank you. Just charge the treasury for whatever she needs, within reason, of course.
She's been paying most of her own way since she got here.
Again, charge the treasury. If she wants the expensive bottle, half price, but out of her own pocket. Otherwise, it's on us.
All right. He stands up and walks back to doing his work.
I attempt to message Sorka again, just real quick. Do you want to talk to the young lady? Don't bite my head off.
Is my 5 days up?
You are right at the end.
I am just gonna growl.
Okay. First conversation is without Sorka. Got it.
So
Come
just
along, fella.
Just 25 words worth of growling.
Yeah, just 25 like guttural like
I just get this like it feels like I have tinnitus, but just instead of high pitched, it's low.
yep. And you can just feel like the anger coming through with it.
Yeah,
That's okay because I see one of the spells that I'm gonna get and it's gonna come in really handy.
Against Theo?
Uh-huh.
I was joking. Never mind.
Well, no, it's not like anything that would necessarily like hurt him. It's just gonna be like fun to like mess with him.
Yeah, not specifically against Theo, but especially against Theo.
Well, like just for right now to like prove my like new powers, this will be fun.
I can't wait.
Dio has no idea what he's in store for.
Nope.
Gavin knows what Dio's in store for, at least partially, but Dio has no idea the danger he's in. He suspects.
All right. So you're heading over to the room?
I guess so.
All right. When you get there, the door is initially locked, but you know you have a key. And you've used this practice before of you go in and lock the door.
Mm-hmm. I
Do
knock.
we want to?
I actually don't barge in on this one.
You hear the sounds of like little bits of wood clattering from a table onto the floor and rolling about. Then you hear the table being moved.
Closer to or away from the door?
Closer to, but you can tell that it isn't all the way.
Yeah, I unlock the door.
When you, as soon as you start pushing on it, you feel a hand press just for a moment before it lets go, and you see one of the guards step aside.
I was about to tear that door apart.
Oh, damage my bar.
And you see her like on all like just crawling around under the table and under the main bench, picking up pencils.
Writing or drawing?
Drawing. You can definitely see that it is drawing.
I don't believe we actually introduced any of ourselves. I am Dionysus.
She eventually gets up and sits in the seat, setting the pencils back into their nice case. Sarah.
Sarah, nice to meet you. This is Wells. He's the quiet type, but what he says is worth hearing. Cassius. He's a little living impaired, but a stand-up guy.
Hi, how you doing? And I will shake her hand or go to shake her hand, I guess. I don't know if she.
As you go to shake her hand, she like cups both her hands together and like pulls away a little bit, still eyeing all of you.
Okay, I go to shake the guard's hands.
And Tala is a very trusted friend who's learning his way in the world as well.
He's going to be a knight.
Justice and Sorka are indisposed at the moment, though I'm sure you saw them. But I figured it would be appropriate to start to get to know each other. If you're staying with us for an indeterminate amount of time. Is there a reason you needed sanctuary here?
Father didn't want me living near where he found me. Wanted to have me safe.
We can't promise absolute safety, but no one can. We are hoping to make this region as safe as possible, and within our domicile, we're as safe as can be. Where do your talents lie? Just in your art, or is there anything else that piques your interest?
I'm good at drawing. And Father says that I am someone with talent.
His talent or your own?
My own.
Can I judge her art? Can I see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Is it pretty good?
Yeah, you're not exactly sure what it is that she's drawing, but the style it is a perfect scenery of someplace.
I mean, that looks like talent.
Sarah, I'm assuming these guards were provided to you by your father.
Mm-hmm.
How old does she look?
15.
Human or elven? or something else?
Give me a perception check.
27.
And give me a second to just
22.
first time that you saw her, she looked like she looked elven, like she could be a high elf. She looks human. Features are almost exactly the same, hair, all of it. Her eyes are a stark green.
I look for any considering some of our workers. I look for any odd patterns or shifting in any of her features as I watch.
None.
None. Okay. I'll just keep that to myself for now. Is there anything that we can provide for you? Make you more comfortable? Assist you? Or do you want to feel useful? What do you want? What do you desire?
As soon as you say the last word, her head tilts up a little bit more. More art supplies.
Any particular medium?
Mm-mm.
Is that all?
That's all.
And would you... No. Would you be amenable to some work? You'll be compensated, of course.
What kind of work?
Informational pamphlets and manuals. Your art is incredible, and illustrating some techniques to teach the townspeople.
I can try.
I'll give you a few days. I'll bring you some other supplies, and I'll confer with some others on what we need most. But we want this region and all in it to prosper. And some have not had the opportunities of others. In fact, many have not been able to receive the opportunities or education. And with your talent, I believe that you could create something good while you stay here. If you're willing, of course.
I'll try.
Your father, do you know when he's going to be back?
Hopefully a month or two.
Excellent. And you wouldn't have any experience with enchantments, would you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, no worries. Well, I'm sure Sorka and Justice will be by to say hello. None wish you ill, but if you want to talk or explore, feel free. And if you want to learn something new, just inquire around. One of us or one of the many people that we employ would be happy to assist you.
She nods, and to all four of you at once hear her reply without her actually like opening her mouth. Thank you.
Don't like that. That's weird. You're muted.
I realize that. I smile broadly and I just go, "You're a curious one. I think I can grow to like you. Have fun."
Where I'm there. What do you see?
So as you leave, you notice you pass by the guards again, and as soon as you get out, the guard closes the door behind you. And I think there is actually a good place to cut it for the evening. So we pick up the next one with meeting with the elves.
Yeah, and we can probably do that. Timeline wise, that'll probably put us after Sorka's done with her book, right?
Oh yeah. Give me an Arcana check.
That's not good. 4 or no, 8, sorry.
8.
Rolled a 4. 8 total.
Also, Wells, give me a intelligence plus proficiency. Essentially, it's a jeweler's kit check.
Only got 6.
Okay, yeah. You did notice that she is wearing a very nice pendant on her necklace. Both of you notice it, and Dio, you do notice that there are some runes like on the edges. You're not sure exactly what spell it is. You know it's a spell of some kind.
Yeah.
And you know that it's really nicely made. Like, you've been dealing with magic items recently. You know magic items when you see them.
Yeah, I've had my hands on a lot of magic items in the past couple weeks.
You're starting to notice where to find runes hidden about.
Yeah, and my skin just kind of starts to itch in their presence.
I got anything for
Dio briefly wars with himself after the door closes. If anyone's looking at him, they see his shadow just kind of twitch for a second as he really, really wants to get more information on this girl. But she seems like a minor, so he fights with himself to stop. The need for information is strong, but he has his morals. He wars with himself briefly, and his shadow smooths back out and just walks away.
All right.
If he finds out that she's 200 fucking years old and some weird form of fucking elf, all bets are off, though.
She's something. That's for sure.
All right. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you all for joining us.
Claim your retribution, Sorka.
All right, so hopefully we should be back up and running again in 2 weeks. So, until then, be well, roll safe, and enjoy your time in the tavern. Bye.
Bye.